ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ Pallavi ma'am, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, another 2 minutes, ma'am. We'll start it off.
Sure.
Yeah. A warm good morning to one and all present. I welcome you all for the Tech Ensemble Rethink the Technology Way webinar series. Today we have amongst us Ms. Pallavi Barua, co-founder Duglo Infosystem Private Limited. Ma'am will be addressing on the topic Introduction to Mobile Application Development. On behalf of Kaylee BCA family, I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our today's key speaker, Ms. Pallavi Barua. Ma'am hails from Assam. She has pursued her undergraduate in aircraft maintenance engineering from Indian Institute of Aeronautical, Kolkata, and post-graduation MBA in HR and Marketing at MS Ramaiah Institute of Management. She has served as intern at Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited for 2 months in the year 2013. As a business development manager, she has built a strategic marketing and social media recruitment plan and managed a team of functional specialists in candidate acquisition, recruiting, content marketing, and social media. Ma'am served as founder and director at Site Pandit, and presently she is working at Duglo Infosystem Private Limited as founder and CEO. She is managing a team of developers responsible for delivering complete solutions to clients in the desired technology verticals to include digital creative, digital marketing and analytics, animation, project management and business intelligence. With this brief introduction, I once again welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for such a powerful introduction of mine. I would first of all greet everybody a very good morning and sparing your time on a Saturday morning to spend with me on this webinar series. I was very happy to be a part of the webinar series to talk to you guys about my experiences and also, of course, to talk about the topic Introduction to Mobile Application Development. So it was very nicely introduced about me to you guys. I am Pallavi Bora. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Duglo Infosystem Private Limited, hailing from a small town named Jorhat of Assam. And immediately after my MBA from MS Ramaiah, I started this venture along with Mr. Sujit Thakur, who was also a speaker on your podium a couple of weeks back. I hope so you guys have interacted with him as well. And from there on, we have a team, highly equipped team. We are an IT company basically developing Android applications, all kind of mobile applications, web applications, branding, and digital marketing services. We work for our clients to empower their businesses through technology and thereby achieve their goals, their success, right? Before going on to the introduction and mobile application development, I hope so right now, whatever I'm speaking, everybody is able to hear me out, right? Okay. So I would like to start with a small quote. Right? It was made by a visionary long years back, around a decade back. It is basically Karlo Dunia Muthi Mein. Of course, the visionary was Dhirubhai Ambani of Reliance, and has currently have literally come true. Actually, we are carrying a small world in our pocket right now. From the time we are waking up, and time we go to bed, we are actually revolving around the internet and, of course, a small mobile device. It is there. Not everybody is well equipped with laptops or computers in the remote villages, but with mobile apps, with mobiles, everyone and each of one is now connected from remote villages to metropolitan cities all around the world, right? And of course, there are a few statistics I would like to give you guys to actually understand, even if we are here. But before going to the statistics, from the time you're waking up to see the weather, the time, setting an alarm, stopwatches, seeing calendars, booking a cab, from laundry to booking, food, I mean, ordering food, anything and everything is actually possible via mobile apps. And we are connected anytime. If video call was not possible, we couldn't have thought about. In fact, 5 to 6 years back, only one medium was there, if I remember, was basically Skype. After that, once WhatsApp revolution has started, all of the organizations have come up with video call options. And now we do not feel detached, even if we are miles away apart from our near and dear ones, that we are losing any connection with them. Because you can anyhow, anytime contact with them via calls, right? So this is a small world right now, of course. Now, the statistics I would like to say that by 2022, the mobile application downloads is about to go up to 258 billion from 178 billion, which was in 2017. That means there will be an increase of 45%. Another one is mobile users normally use their phones and watch their phones on an average 63 times per day. Mobile app users, of course, 87% of them, at least 1 hour before going to bed, they check their phone. And 69% of the mobile users see their phone 5 minutes before going to bed. And in fact, nowadays, there are various applications where you can listen to music, or there are coming and mind-calming apps where you can actually play and you fall asleep. Even those are there. So another 5 to 10% fall in their category as well. There is an estimated of $580 billion only in App Store downloads, where people will be actually paying for availing the app services, paid services, which will be around in 2022, $587 billion. And of course, there is a thing that Generation G, that means you guys, age gap from 16 years to 24 years, basically uses mobile applications 30 times more than any adults, right? And this generation is forever increasing now. After concluding with all the statistics, I would like to say that the mobile app environment is never going to stop. It's ever growing, and it is just a start right now, right? And going to right now, I'll go with the technology, what are things going on and what are the current trends. I'll give you some examples of the greatest apps currently in the market, different type of technology, upcoming technologies that are there, some scopes, of course, I'll talk about, and let's go ahead. So first, I would like to say about, of course, mobile application technologies. There are basically two forms of mobile applications. Okay? One is native application and another one is hybrid applications. Okay? So native applications and hybrid applications are basically categorized based on the basis of operating system that are in your phone, in your mobile, right? So broadly, there is Android and iOS, of course, right? And there is upcoming one, there is Fuchsia OS. I will talk about it. It's a very exciting one. I'll talk about it at the end. Okay. So Android and iOS is there. When we say about native applications, that means are the coding languages which are used to develop these mobile apps using their native languages in the operating system. In Android, it is mostly used Java, and in iOS, it's Objective-C and Swift. Whereas hybrid applications are one where we use languages which maintains one code base and can be produced two different apps and published in both Android and iOS platforms, right? And a few examples I'll give for better understanding. One of the greatest examples of native applications will be your calendar, will be your Gmail, your weather apps, right? And another one for hybrid applications, I would say our biggest examples is Facebook, Instagram, Uber. They are one of the biggest applications right now around the world. These are the biggest companies right now. Now you would feel that what is the right now the difference between those advantages and disadvantages of actually having a native application and hybrid application, right? So native applications, of course, have their pros and cons differently, and hybrid applications have their pros and cons differently. When operating systems were developed, were invented, that time, of course, it was kept in mind, keep the native languages that has to be used as an environment in the operating system. So Java was for Android and Objective-C and Swift for iOS was their founding thing. And whatever applications are based on that, of course, was having more advantages. Eventually, because of a hassle of creating one app into two different languages and publishing in two different app stores and Play Store, then there was another one which was hybrid application came into point, where developers wanted to keep one code base, however, exporting it, their applications to different APKs or builds for Android and iOS, however, keeping it one code base. And as such, Facebook themselves has come out with one of the languages like React Native, and Google have come up with native language known as Flutter. And both are equally compatible, equally competitive, having their own pros and cons, but however, they are very, very efficient. Community is growing day by day, and we can see immense growth right now. So talking about native applications, advantages are immense. Few of them are, of course, since they are in their operating environment, OS environment. So they support more faster performance, right? And their more performance is better. Another one is they tend to help, they are very easy and they give access to the hardware, many softwares like camera, location, GPS, and calendar, dates. All these things are basically more accustomed, more faster to use in native. And however, in hybrid applications, eventually, right now, the platforms with the coming advanced technology languages have enabled them to also perform better, to also perform very fast. However, whatever hardware accessible things like, as I told about camera, as I told about GPS locations, these are used with specific plugins or external libraries. Both the communities as of hybrid and native applications are immensely bigger, and as such, every other day, every such days, the community members contribute, and there are different libraries that developers come up with, and there are different plugins that developers come up with. End result is basically always a faster application. It depends, however, after being in the industry, working with various clients out here, from a startup to an MNC, and also a government projects, we have seen it depends upon the client, what they basically wish for to go, whether native or hybrid applications. There is, from my side, there is basically no difference at all. Few examples, as I told, some languages, of course, for native applications, Java and Swift and Objective-C. For hybrid applications, few of the languages are React Native, there is Flutter, there is Ionic, The very recent and very robust one, I would first prefer Flutter right now. Why? I'll say after some time, right? So these are basically the broader pictures, few of the examples, and also the languages I told about, how they are coded, and what are the advantages, pros and cons of both the platforms. And that is how basically the mobile application development starts. Then next we come to how all these applications are based on and how they work. It is very important to understand when I even started learning or developing apps. After researching, working with so much of applications, I have come up with three things, three factors which make normally an app full up and running. Okay, the first one is the UI and UX, that is user interface and user experience. Second is the database, what kind of database you use. And the third one is API, application programming interface. I hope so everybody, if somehow or the other, know bits and pieces of all these three factors are about, or I'll just go ahead and explain to you guys. So these three factors, when come together, can actually deliver a full-fledged, fast application without any hassle. UI UX is one of the most things we have seen. Around 80 to 90% of the users download app according to the user interface and user experience, that is UI and UX. You might have yourself experienced that you will be downloading a game, for example, Angry Birds, more than any other games which has a similar concept like Angry Birds, right? Why? Visually, the UI and UX is better, and you will, and for other apps, you will just download it. You can experience one or two times. It has happened with me as well. Once I was not liking it, I immediately uninstalled it. So UI UX almost plays around 90% of the weightage of a complete application. What is basically UI and UX? Normally people very much comprehend, combine, or understand that they are similar, but however, they are not similar. It's very important to understand what is UI and UX. User interface is basically, you can say, when you paint on a canvas, it's an empty canvas. There is nothing. Okay, and you think I'll draw a portrait of a person in the canvas. What you do is you just outline or think on your brain, I will be creating this portrait of a man sitting on a road. You just outline it. For a third person, it will seem like there is a canvas with a black lines out there, just as an outline. So the third person, they will know that this is what's going to come out as an output. This is what a figure would look like. But when the painter starts painting with colors, giving definitions, all the things, play around it, and that's when what is known as UX. And basically that what the other people will see, the third person will see, that is fully what UI and UX has come out to give a full product of how the app will look like. Now, after UI and UX, we go ahead to create databases. Databases, of course, are very important. It is, however, also dependent upon what the type of screens are going on, what is the flow of the app is going to be, what are the kind of registrations that is happening, whether what are the user experiences it should have, what animations are going on in the screens, transitions are happening, and that's how database is structured. Database can be structured in many other things, Postgres, SQL, MS SQL, right? It can be MongoDB. Any databases are there, are structured according to the application you are developing. And then comes API. Now, in one place, you have the designs, you have the UI, UX, Another place there is database. So two different places won't, if two things are there, the app won't work. That is why API comes into place, which is actually a bridging point which connects the database with the UI and UX and throws data or shows data, formulates data, formats data of what the user have to see here on their screen. So API plays a very important role, and without API, the app is not functioning. That these three factors leads to any app, whether it is hybrid, whether it is native applications, and then that's how an app is made. We follow in the industry a product life cycle to completely deliver one mobile app. It's in all of the organizations where they develop mobile applications. So one, it starts from planning, then to documentation, then to wireframes and wire diagrams of what the app would look like, as I was explaining about the portrait with an outline of a man. Then comes a UI and UX. Then comes again database architecture. Then API coding. Then comes the backend coding, that means linking the API and the front end. Phase-wise QA, quality assurance of the application. Performance testing, whether it is UI testing, functionality testing, penetrations testing, security testing, a lot of things goes on the QA department. And then comes the launch of the app. Also, before launching, launches are divided into alpha phase, beta phase, and then launch phase. Okay? And after the launch, also there is post-launch QA testing. And then comes the maintenance of the app. Many of the applications right now, all over the world, all the companies will never stop in one solution. They will always upgrade, add new features, try to do customer acquisition more, and hence they will come up with new features. And once when one product cycle is completed, they are on the market. They try to gain customers, and when they feel there is a need to introduce new feature is again then discussed, and again the new feature goes to a new product cycle. And that is how a mobile app is being made. Now, mobile apps, as I said, is integral part of our life right now, and we are very happy with what it's going to be. But as I said, a statement after the statistics that it's not going to stop, it's ever growing. Now, even with the introduction with advanced technologies like data science, AI, artificial intelligence, there is AR and VR, augmented reality and VR, virtual reality, and all these have really, blockchain is another one. Gaming is another ball game. It's as such have very, very great scope in the future, where without a mobile app, this cannot roll on. These integrations of data science, AI, AR, VR, blockchains, the new apps are going to run like fire. And apart from this, Android and iOS, as I was saying in the first, another one, a very good OS, I would say you guys, it's coming in the market is Fuchsia OS. And it's going to be very, very competitive than Android and iOS as well. It is developed by Google themselves. And Fuchsia iOS applications will normally have applications, language that will be supported in there is Flutter. So it's very nice time to actually start learning Flutter in your free time and start equipping with it. Eventually, Flutter app developments will have a virtual assistant, voice AIs, all being and data science being involved, and very great applications are going to come in Fuchsia iOS. There are already in the market a couple of great examples I can give you is Cred. Cred has an incredible UI, very fast performing, and that's how it will roll on in the market right now. Now, for the mobile application developers, I would, after saying about the statistics, introducing to you on mobile application development technologies, type of mobile applications, along with few of the examples. What are the 3 factors that involve in making a successful mobile application? Another one is the upcoming trend of Fuchsia iOS. Now I will move on to when you should start, or is it the right time to start? Is it a rocket science? Would you be able to do a coding or develop apps with zero coding language? I'll talk about this right now. So I'll talk about right now the scope. So these mobile applications is not a coding, is not basically a rocket science at all. It is simple use of formulas and some standards that specific coding language community follows. Now, whatever you might have learned in your school or colleges right now about maybe Python or Java or C++, learn it well. I would suggest learn it well. But even if you do not know even the A to Z about it, not an issue. Every now and then, these application coding languages come up with various versions, upgradations come, and hence the coding also at times changes. So hence, it's never too late to start coding. As you can start spending on your leisure time, half an hour, 1 hour or such, and you can go through and start reading some articles, whatever interests you. Explore different type of languages that might interest you, what kind of applications like hybrid or native you want to develop. According to that, the choice of coding languages you can make, and as such, you can go ahead with it. Please remember also one thing, practice is key. It's not you have to be a scientist, only the thing is practice is key. I myself in the organization say to all my colleagues, teammates, my employees, that even now they have to learn. We have a thing known as KT session every week, once for 1 hour. What task I give them is they have to go home, take 1 hour every week. Even though they are developers and extreme developers with more than 9 to 10 years of experience as well. There is another one with 21 years of experience working with us. It is never too late. Its technology is never ending. They always come with versioning. It's always growing and growing. If you're not keeping up with the pace, you're not practicing, you're not learning tricks and drags and stuff like that, some smaller hacks, then you're losing things on yourself. 1 hour, only 1 week. Just take your time, learn one small skill, one shortcut, one fact, maybe something. So eventually, 1 month will be equivalent to 4 new skills, 4 new facts and figures, 4 new shortcuts, 4 new things you will learn. And as such, 2 months will have 8. 3 months will have another 12 exactly, and that's how you can grow your skills. I myself, coming from an engineering background and from an aeronautical background, and again to business development, and then when I was already working for UI UX, working for digital marketing teams in my career there at that time, I realized my interest was more on UI UX, and hence, however, it did not have to stop me from developing apps. I learned it, decoding how API works, what is database. It did not happen eventually. Of course, I have to do multitasking. How I did is to utilize 1 hour in 1 week. So this is the right time, you guys, and your college, your institution has really made this effort to bring upon industry experts and speak to you so that you get more insights and you can do it. For me, I started very early, just after my MBA. I had ample amount of time. I thought and I took a risk, basically, that if I make mistakes, then eventually I can correct it. Right now, you guys are getting very good thing, learning from us, basically. And then when you learn and make mistakes, try to make mistakes in your study areas, and then when eventually you groom and you're ready for your career, you know what to choose on. So there is a lot of scope, as I told about. There is also another ball games. This is the scope. Another one, I'll talk about the upcoming technologies that mobile app will eventually support. Is, as I told, is AI, AR, VR, data science, and blockchain. Then these integrations and even the Unity games, Python games, all the games around here in the stores are a different stuff, and they are going to be increasing eventually. So we can only think right now, whatever apps we are having, to 10 times grow more, 10 times the app will be more faster, 10 times the app will be more best performer, and you can just explore it once and for all. They've already come up with, you might have seen, voice assistant, Alexa assistant, Google Home assistant, smart lights, smart ACs or TVs are already on the market. Their apps that control them are already in the market. There would be a point where thermostats or temperature controls are there in India as well. So guys, get ready. The things are going to change from here now. Another thing, politically also, I would say, because of this COVID, our government, Indian government, has also banned even Chinese apps. A lot of startups, a lot of organizations now have come up with similar type of Zoom applications, similar type of TikTok applications, chat applications. Many things are going on. So there's larger scopes in the technology sector right now. All work sitting on home. You can order groceries. You can call for taking your COVID test. So sampling is done at home yourself on the doorstep. So it's next. All the connectivity, all the things are going to be from only mobile applications. So with this, I would like to conclude my speech, and I would be passing over to the host right now for any queries or anything you guys have Q&A for me. I'm ready to answer.
Students, if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat window. Ma'am will be addressing and she'll be clarifying it for you. Any doubts, you can post it in the chat window here. Yes, students? Any queries?
I hope everybody was able to hear me.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. You were audible. It was good. Yeah. Students, any queries, you can post it in the chat window. Okay.
We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Which company you have worked for? Okay. The question is, I started with internships in ONGC, and then I started to work for a UK-based MNC or digital marketing, where they was actually doing product marketing as well. And from there, I was placed in the third SEM. I was one of the students of among 1,000 students in MS Ramaya to be placed first. And that on my third SEM, I got placed. I worked for a couple of months, 5 months eventually. And then I quit and I started my own company along with Mr. Sujit, and that was the IT company. Our first client was actually from US, and we made a news portal for them. So yeah, that is what. I do not work for any company. It is my own company. Yes, we do. There was a question of any internships. Yes, we do internships. Currently, everybody is working from home right now in the company. Internships are mostly taken for QAs and Android app developers as well for freshers. And we train them for 2 to 3 months under the supervision of industry experts and a project manager, senior developers. And if they perform better, and we absorb in the company. So important factors I told about in my speak when I was speaking, the 3 factors that the UI UX. Another one is database, and third is the API. Yeah, Android development can happen. Tool basically is the best tool is Android Studio, and you need to know Java. And however, basic knowledge of Java is actually required to become an Android developer. And then once you install Android Studio, and then you can start with your first application. There's a question, according to you, user interface is the most important part of building an application. Of course, it is important part of building an application because it really depends upon how your app looks. Look and feel is very important. That's how users' first impression would be before even going to the functionality. But of course, functionality gives the life to the application. Without it, we will not be able to capture any user data. The app will not function. Real time, it will not play. So all 3 things are important for building this application, as I always say. Okay. iOS, right, which is Studio software that I use to build the OS. I think this is not a relevant question, but however, I'll answer this. Operating system. So for Android, Java is used. So Java environment, one example I gave about Android Studio to install, and then from Android Studio, you can actually produce Android applications. But for iOS applications, iPhone apps or iPad apps or anything, you actually need an iOS machine. That means a MacBook or iOS, any other iOS machine. And you can code only on there. And when you're producing or making a build, it's very important to actually have a iOS OS operating system like MacBooks. MongoDB, yeah, it's a very high-tech, a very structured database right now, which is in conjunction with Node. Works like wonders. Node.js and MongoDB is a very good combination and very good preferred tech stack that works for React Native applications and Flutter applications as well. It's very fast, in fact. I would not say that there is a best application training site. So I'm getting a question about the best training site that you can learn app development. It's all about your interest. You can learn from a book. You can learn even from your seniors or your family. But small sites, I think they can also give us good resource for you. You can go for Udemy or maybe Coursera. You can start learning. But however, they can only give you resources. The way you analyze, practice, build your own applications is all upon you. Uh, about choosing any application framework, it is very important what kind of application you will. So I won't say that if what framework you need to use it. It depends upon the choices and the language you are comfortable with. Any languages that you are comfortable with. Use that, make your own applications where you are comfortable with. If somebody is comfortable with Python or Swift, you can go ahead. Yeah, that's. So I'll take for another 1 or 2 minute math question.
Any
And
queries, students? I hope everything is clear, ma.
Okay, I think nobody have any questions. Either whatever it is said in the classroom, right? Either they don't understand or they are everything.
Yeah, it was
I
actually
hope.
great listening to you, ma.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope so. At least whatever I spoke brought a little bit of light of whatever you were expecting in the webinar.
Yeah,
It was
definitely, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am, anything else to convey or we'll wind up?
It was a great session with you guys, and I was very happy. And I was actually, in fact, waiting for the webinar to happen. And I was very happy to be part of the webinar to, address the students out there. A small impact and a big thing, a ripple effect can happen. And yeah, thank you so much for being with me and spending this 1 hour. And it was, I look forward for you guys, the best for your careers. And thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, from the behalf of management, principal, and coordinator. I really thank you for sparing your 1 hour, actually your precious time, because that was Saturday, right? So it will be off, yeah. But still, 1 hour was very precious. Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope to have, good to have again a webinar interactive sessions in the future as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah. Students, I will be sending you a feedback link. So give the feedback and you can leave the meeting. Feedback link, you can give your feedbacks. Once given feedback, you can leave. We'll send the feedback link in your respective class groups later. You can leave the meeting. Thank you.